Okay, so I know this is very different from all my other videos, but just hear me out. You know Henry Cavill? Like, the person that played Superman in that one movie that came out in, like, 2010? 2012? Well, some point around that time. And he made an experiment in which he wore glasses along with a Superman t-shirt, and then just hung out in Times Square with a bunch of Batman v Superman posters around him, and he got stopped twice, and none of those times were because he was Superman. Now, I just want to say that that experiment, as I've just described, which is to my understanding how it was carried out, is very unscientific. Like, I'm still not convinced that Clark Kent's glasses aren't a terrible disguise to hide the face of Superman. If Henry Cavill was really serious about his experiment, he would have done the same thing but this time without the glasses, and then we would compare the results under a fair test. As you might already know, the scientific method is composed of an observation, then followed by a research stage, then a hypothesis, an experiment, collecting data, analysis, and a conclusion. And any scientific experiment must also have a control variable, a dependent variable, and an independent variable. The control variable is the one that you keep the same, so you control it. The independent variable is the one that you change, so it's independent from anything else, and the dependent variable is the one that you're measuring, so it's dependent on the independent variable. You usually also run an experiment several different trials so that you make sure that the results are the same across the board. And so you can ensure that what you find is truth if the same thing that you found in a lab in like say the States can be replicated in a lab over in China or in Russia or in like Kenya or something. But as far as my knowledge goes, Henry Cavill only did one trial, and as such he didn't have any control variables because he didn't keep anything the same across trials, since he only did one. It was impossible for him to have kept the same things across trials. Now, if he actually were to be serious about this experiment, he would have done it several times around different times of the year across different years. But I feel like that's asking for too much, so let's just say a couple different days of the week in 1 week, and he would be the same time in Times Square across trials, and then of course he would have the same number of trials with glasses as without glasses. And that is the bare minimum. If he were to have really taken it to the next level, he would have ensured that there is roughly around the same amount of people in Times Square as in every other trial. And then maybe he would have monitored things like the weather and all sorts of other things, but I'm not gonna go that far because I didn't script this video. So this is all just a very big side tangent, and yeah, I just wanted to rant about this to someone, and then I realized I have a YouTube channel, so might as well make it there. And here we are. And I mean, all the control variables that I was suggesting are just because I believe that those are things that would affect how much people focus on other people, and hence it would affect how much they focus on Henry Cavill in Times Square, and thereby noticing that he's Superman or not. But well, to justify that, you would have to look at actual data science and different studies, and I'm not doing all that. So I'll just plug the outro now.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words.
Oh wait, I'm just now realizing that he didn't wear glasses for the experiment.
We decided to go to Times Square to test the theory. I wore a Superman t-shirt, no glasses.
Well, never mind then. But the point still stands. If he did actually wanted to do a genuine experiment, then he would have done it in separate locations and separate times, instead of just one time in Times Square. But yeah, sorry for wasting your time. Though I do hope that you managed to learn something in my rant of the scientific method in Henry Cavill's experiment.